The clinking of silverware paused as my mother stood at the head of the table, her wine glass held aloft. "I have some wonderful news," she announced, a practiced smile gracing her lips. "Emma has generously agreed to help fund Brooke's wedding." A chorus of awes and applause erupted. My younger sister Brooke squealed, throwing her arms around our mother. I sat in my chair, a piece of rosemary chicken turning to ash in my mouth. "What?" The word was out before I could stop it, sharp and disbelieving. The room's festive chatter died. My mother's smile didn't falter, it just grew tighter. "We'll discuss all the details later, sweetie," she said, her tone a warning wrapped in sugar. That's when I knew. They hadn't just assumed, they had already decided, drafting me as a silent partner in a venture I'd never agreed to join. My name is Emma. I'm 27, a physical therapist who specializes in helping patients regain movement after trauma. The irony isn't lost on me. I've been the responsible one my whole life, the planner, the saver, the one who read the fine print. My sister Brooke, 3 years younger, is the family's sun around whom all planets, especially our parents, happily revolve. I paid my way through school with a patchwork of scholarships, part-time jobs, and loans I'm still diligently repaying. Brooke's path was paved and paid for. A new car at 16, a fully funded college experience with a generous, fun allowance, and an apartment downtown when she decided campus life was too stressful. I was told I was more independent, that I didn't need the help, a justification that always felt less like a compliment and more like a sentence. 2 weeks before that fateful dinner, Brooke got engaged to her boyfriend of 8 months. The wedding planning began at a breakneck speed, with visions of a lavish country club affair. I was genuinely happy for her, until the financial summons arrived. My mother's call was breezy. "We need to talk about the wedding budget. Your father and I can manage about 10,000. We're thinking you could cover the remaining 30. I actually laughed, thinking it was a bad joke. $30,000? Mom, I can't afford that. Her voice cooled instantly. Can't or won't. I listed my realities, student loans, rent, my own meager savings for a future down payment. "After everything we've done for you," she cut in, her tone wounded martyrdom. "We raised you, we put a roof over your head." "You did that for Brooke too," I said quietly. "And you paid for her college and her car and—" "We'll see what the family thinks about your attitude." And the line went dead. That family opinion was delivered a week later at the Sunday dinner, a public ambush designed to pressure me into compliance. Walking out felt like a both defeat and a declaration. The smear campaign began immediately. I was excluded from a secret wedding planning group chat titled Brooke's Dream Team. A cousin accidentally screenshotted it to me, revealing messages where my mother lamented my difficult phase and Aunt Linda suggested I was jealous. Brooke took to Instagram, posting a melancholic selfie with the caption, "When the people you thought were your family show their true colors, #disappointed." The dog whistle was heard. My phone buzzed with concerned, tinged with accusation messages. "Family comes first, Emma," an aunt chided after I explained my side. "You have a nice apartment. You took that trip last fall?" My conference in Denver had been twisted into evidence of frivolous spending. The confrontation at my apartment was the turning point. My mother arrived with a handwritten ledger of my childhood debts, dance lessons, school supplies, orthodontics. "We never asked for anything back," she said solemnly. Then she pointed to a line item, $5,000, car repair, 2020. "You never paid this back." My blood ran cold. "I did. I handed you a check. I have the bank statement." A dismissive wave of her hand. "If you had, I'd remember. The point is, you owe us. We're not asking for much." In that moment, I saw the gaslighting for what it was, a strategic rewriting of history to legitimize their present greed. After she left, issuing an ultimatum to attend the engagement party as a sign of commitment, I went to my files. What they didn't know was that for 2 years, on the advice of my therapist, I'd been quietly documenting our financial interactions. It started after they asked for $2,000 for a leaking roof, only for Brooke to post pictures from a weekend at a luxury spa days later. I felt insane, questioning my own memory. My therapist called it financial fogging and suggested a ledger, so I kept one. Every Venmo request, every text asking for a short-term loan, every repayment or lack thereof was logged with screenshots and bank statements saved in a secure folder. The total was staggering. Over 5 years, I'd given them $15,000. Only $3,000 had ever been repaid. The $5,000 car repair check? I found the scanned copy of the cleared check, my mother's endorsement clear on the back. Armed with this, I faced a choice: slink away and let them control the narrative, or meet their public spectacle with public truth. The decision was made for me when Brooke posted a TikTok using a viral sound about toxic family with text overlay reading, "When your sister has a new car but can't afford to help with your wedding." It garnered local traction. Colleagues looked at me sideways. I went to the engagement party. In my bag was a folder with 10 copies of a clean, concise spreadsheet summarizing the $15,000 with a few key pieces of evidence, including the cleared check. I wouldn't start a fight, but I was prepared to end one. The party was in full swing in my parents' backyard when I arrived. The festive atmosphere chilled perceptibly. My mother greeted me with a syrupy, "Oh, you decided to join us. Does this mean—" I simply said, "It means I'm here for Brooke." Later, during a speech, my mother teared up about the costs of a wedding and wishing everyone in the family was as committed to supporting Brooke. Her gaze landed on me like a spotlight. When she finished, I stood. "Can I say something?" I began handing the folders to the nearest tables. Since we're talking about family support, I think everyone should have the full picture. Confused relatives looked down at the documents. "This," I said, my voice clear and steady over the sudden quiet, "is a record of the $15,000 I've loaned my parents over the last 5 years. This column shows the $12,000 that was never repaid." I held up the copy of the cleared check. "And this is the $5,000 check you claimed I never repaid, Mom. It was cashed 4 years ago." My father blustered, "We're family, we don't keep score." I replied, "You kept score." I pointed to his wife's childhood ledger. "You just used creative accounting." My Uncle Jim, squinting at the spreadsheet, murmured, 15,000? And they're asking for 30 more? Brooke was in tears. "You're ruining my day." "You and Mom ruined my reputation over this," I said, my focus still on the room. "I love you, Brooke. I hope you have a beautiful wedding, but I am not an ATM. I will not be shamed for having boundaries after subsidizing this family for years." The silence was absolute. I picked up my purse. Congratulations, truly. Then I walked out, leaving the hushed wreckage of their narrative behind. In the weeks that followed, I blocked them everywhere. The wedding was dramatically scaled down. I received half-hearted, non-apology emails. "We may have misunderstood." I didn't respond. The freedom that followed was profound. The constant low-grade anxiety of a guilt-tripping text, the pressure to perform gratitude for scraps of attention, the heavy weight of being the invisible workhorse, it all evaporated. Their silence, which I once feared as abandonment, became my peace. I used to think cutting off family was the ultimate failure. Now I understand it can be the ultimate act of self-respect. They saw me as a line item in their budget, a resource to be managed. By walking away with my receipts and my truth, I reclaimed myself not just as a daughter, but as a person whose worth was never, and never would be, tied to her bank account. Sometimes the most responsible thing you can do is refuse to be responsible for everyone else's choices. And sometimes forever isn't a punishment, it's a boundary you build brick by brick with the cold, hard cement of truth.